Hi all, today we are going to see about dependency injection using TypeScript and Inverseif. Okay, so what we are going to do in this case is we are going to take a construction class, and as you know, construction will need persons, right? This person we will try to inject through Inverseif. Okay, this is our objective for this session. How we are going to inject the class ABC, which is a type person, inside this construction class. Okay. So for this, I already have one uh, project ready. Okay, it is a npm project which I have also installed TypeScript. Okay, I already have a construction class. Okay, which requires a person, as I showed you in the diagram, which requires a person. And this person, if you take right now, I also have an interface person. Okay, which has a method called do work, and this class ABC actually implements this person interface, and it is given implementation for the function do work. So right now what I have done is I have actually created the dependency rather than giving this dependency, uh, rather than the dependency being provided through the container of dependency injection container. I have right now created the class AB, created an instance for the class ABC. Okay, so now if I run actually uh, and TSC I have configured so that it transpiles to the folder lib. Okay, so first let me run this run script build so that we are able to find the generate the JS files over which we can run node, because node runs only JS files. Okay, if I say build, it will do the TSC part. Getting error here. I can simply run TSC. So right now the lib should be produced for us. Now let's run the test file, which I already have created, which actually creates the object for the construction class and calls the do work. So which will be calling the do work of ABC class, because right now in construction.ts I've created an object instance of ABC class. So the do work in ABC will be called, and we should be able to see ABC working, right? So lib, it is actually in lib src. So I'm just running the transpile file lib src, and inside that there is test.js. If you run this, I should be seeing ABC working. This is how it is present right now. Right now, coming to a requirement. Now what I want to do is, I don't want to create an instance myself. Rather than I want the dependency injection container to give the dependency. That's what it is meant by dependency injection, right? For doing that dependency injection through Inverseif, that is the module through which I am going to do dependency injection. So the Inverseif module, if you take it, it is a MIT module. Actually, you can actually search for that. I already searched for this. This is the npm Inverseif.js. It is the npm module. You can actually go search for Inverseif. You will be able to go to this site. So this is a MIT licensed library. So you can use this to create dependency injection in TypeScript or JavaScript. So for doing that, there are two steps. First, you have to do a Inverseif setup. For doing Inverseif, there are some setup for that. What the setup means? Maybe I will open that file. Okay. This is a wrong PPT. I will open the correct PPT. 1 second. So moving to the Inverseif setup, we have to first install these packages. Okay, install Inverseif and install reflect metadata. So let me do that. Okay, I will go to my terminal and install Inverseif first. npm install Inverseif, right? So let's wait for it to get installed. Okay, next let's install reflect metadata. Okay, sorry, this reflect metadata you have to install. So let's wait for it to get installed. So it is of both installed. So coming to a next step. Okay, next step is creating an Inverseif container. Okay, for creating the bindings. So for creating the Inverseif container, what I will do, I will create a file. Okay, I will create a file called inversify.js. You can create it here in this root path, not inside source. Okay, inversify.config.ts. So here, let me create a container first. So new container. So this container is being imported from Inversify. Okay, so let it be a container. So using the container now, I have to create bindings for this. For which, because our aim is to inject this class ABC, right? Which is of type person. Okay, so we have to inject this class ABC, right? So for that, let me create a binding for class ABC. Like a string container, you have to tell when somebody asks for this, what I have to give. So I will write container when somebody asks for. So this is the type of interface, because the type of interface here is person, right? Hope this is. Let me go to this container. This not coming. So let me import the person. Import person from interface.ts, right? /interface interface, right? So now here I am saying what is the type of the interface, and whenever somebody asks for this person, you give them this object to ABC. So here it is ABC, right? This is the class name, right? So I've mm, mm, 1 second. Maybe we can refer to the site. Maybe I'm doing some mistake here. Maybe just refer to them. Maybe it is, I think so. Bind, not get, sorry. It is binding. Okay. Binding. Whenever somebody asks for a person, you give this object. Okay. You give the ABC object. So through the container, Inverseif container, if you ask for a person, it will be creating an instance of ABC and given to you. And I will export this container outside. I will just export so that anybody can import. Now I have created the container, which where I have specified that I have created binding for the person. So whenever you ask for person, it will give the person ABC. Now I have to ask through the class how to do that. Okay. So this is what I have done. This I have succeeded. I have created, installed the dependency packages and created the Inverseif container. Now let me implement the dependency injection. Okay, first for that you have to specify where you want the injection to happen. Okay, for that let me go to the site, and here I want the injection right here, right? Where all you want the injection, you have to mention it, right? You have to say at inject. It is of type person. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Let me go to the site. Okay, it should be a, actually this is a function at inject, and I have to ask for person because that's what I have created binding, right? Person, whenever you inject the person, whatever comes out of this person, for that person I have created ABC, right? So I am asking inject me the person. I am asking for person which will inject me the ABC object, right? So here I can mention it as person. Okay, and the inject has to be imported from Inverseif, right? So this actually implements person, right? So now I have asked Inverseif to inject this string, whatever object is for this string. So the object for this string is ABC object. So the ABC object will be inserted inside this person by Inverseif. So let me, I can take it from that rather than me creating, I will take it from that. So this is how I have injected, and where all you also need to ask for this object, right? Construction object through Inverseif. So you have to mention injectable here, because this object also I need it through Inverseif. What all objects you require it through Inverseif, you have to mention injectable. And you also need to do one other thing, where all you are creating injection or injectable, you have to import reflect metadata, that is also required. Okay, now I have asked the ABC to be injected to this person instance. So that there also I have to mention injectable, because this object it is going to inject inside the person instance, right? So here also I have to mention injectable. Okay, and you also need to do import reflect metadata here. Okay, I have done this. Now let me go to the test and test whether my dependency injection is working. I have created a dependency injection. You can see that I have created a dependency injection using Inverseif. Okay, whatever we wanted to do, right? We have created a inject inside the construction class to inject the class ABC from the Inverseif container. Okay, so this is what we have mentioned. To reiterate, I have mentioned that I want whatever the person, for this person you inject whatever binding you have for this person, you inject into this person instance. That's what I have told it to Inversify. So going to the container, it will see for person, it has to inject ABC, so it will create an instance of this ABC and give it to this person instance. Okay, and where all because where all I want the object through Inversify, this constructor object also I want it through Inversify. I'm going to get this constructor object also through Inversify. So I have provided at injectable here, and I also ABC also it has to create through Inversify, right? It will be creating through Inversify a instance of ABC. That for that I have to mention injectable, else it will throw error. What all objects you want to create through Inversify, you have to provide at injectable. Now let me test. Now my next requirement is to test whether the dependency has worked, right? Let me go to this test.ts. For getting object through Inversify, first get the container. Okay, we have exported the container, right? Container dot get. Here it is get. Mhm. Not it is. This is not actually. You have to get it from the Inversify config.js, right? It is not from config. It is you have to get this container, right? Okay, so it is a small c, not a big C. Okay, so I have got this container. So using this container, right, which is imported from Inversify container, I can do get. I want the constructor object, right, which is of here I don't have any interface, so I will just use the construction class. Okay, since we are asking for construction, you have also need to create a binding for that. Okay, let me create a binding for construction also. So let me, whenever somebody asks for construction, right? So I will say construction. You give the construction class. Okay. Now let me proceed. Now I will be able to get the constructor object over which I will be able to do work. So do work will be calling over the instance which got injected. So the instance which will get injected is ABC. Over that it will call do work, right? So which will call the, it will print ABC working, right? So here, why we are seeing error here? Source person, right? Correct. Now let's run the test. First, let run. We will run TSC so that we are able to transpile and produce the JS files, and then over that let us run the node, because node will be able to run only the JS files. Now it got transpile and we all have the JS for whatever we wrote, right? We have the JS for whatever we wrote. So our JS is present over here. So we are supposed to run this test.js. For running that, let me run node lib src not lib src test.js, and you are able to see, right, no ABC working, and we are able to implement this dependency injection through Inverseif. So this is how this is a simple use case which I've used to inject this ABC object inside this person instance. Okay, likewise you can even do a complex use case. So the next session I will try to tell you how to inject a factory using Inverseif. Thank you.